If you're running a website that has any users in India, you need to know that the rules for handling their data have totally changed. Today, we're going to break down exactly what India's new DPDP Act is all about and look at a pretty cool WordPress toolkit that's designed to make becoming compliant way simpler.
So let's just get right to it. Ask yourself this question. If the answer is yes, even a maybe, then you're definitely going to want to stick around, because how you manage that user data, well, it just got a whole lot more serious.
That's right. Back in 2023, India passed this major new law that completely flipped the script on data privacy online. It's a real game changer. It's called the Digital Personal Data Protection Act, or DPDP Act for short, because that's a mouthful. Just think of it like India's brand new official rulebook that tells every business, including you with your website, exactly how you must handle people's personal data. And yeah, that means new rules and a whole new set of obligations for you. Okay, so here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll dig into the DPDP Compliance Challenge itself. Then, we'll look at a specific toolkit for WordPress and see how it handles all the consent and user rights stuff. After that, we'll peek behind the curtain at the admin experience, and we'll wrap it all up with a quick start guide to get you up and running.
So what does this new law actually mean for you as a website owner? Well, it really boils down to a new set of rules, legally binding ones, that you just have to follow. And here's the crucial part. You can't just keep doing things the old way. The DPDP Act has some key mandates. First off, you need to get clear, explicit consent from users before you touch their data. Second, you have to give them tools to see, fix, or even delete their info. Third, you need a formal system in place for them to file complaints. And last but not least, you've got to keep detailed records to prove you're doing all this, just in case of an audit. You know, for most websites, this isn't just a policy change. It requires a real technical solution. Now, I know hearing all that can sound pretty daunting, but that's where a specific solution comes into play, especially for the millions and millions of websites out there built on WordPress. And here it is, the SG2 DPDP Compliance Tool Kit. It's a WordPress plugin built from the ground up to tackle these new rules head-on. And its number one goal? To make this whole process simple, without you having to go out and hire a developer for a bunch of expensive custom coding. So how does this toolkit actually connect what the law demands with what your users experience on your site? Let's take a look at the front end, the part of compliance that your visitors will actually see and interact with. First up is the consent management banner. I'm sure you've seen these pop-ups on other sites. Well, this one is fully customizable. It lets your users give or deny consent for specific things, like analytics cookies or marketing trackers. It even supports English and Hindi right out of the box, and it has this really handy test mode so you can tweak it and get it looking perfect before it goes live. Next, we've got the Grievance Redressal form. Now, that sounds super formal, but it directly addresses that legal requirement for a complaint system. It's really just a secure way for users to exercise their rights, what the law calls data subject rights. It's a fancy way of saying they can officially ask to see, correct, or even delete the data you have on them. The plugin gives you a secure form and a really simple workflow to manage all those requests right inside your WordPress dashboard. And this is a huge time saver, the privacy policy generator. Instead of you having to write a policy from scratch, which is a nightmare, it automatically creates a solid foundational policy for your site. It has templates for different kinds of sites like blogs or e-commerce stores. You just copy a little piece of text, it's called a shortcode in WordPress, paste it onto a page, and boom, the policy just appears. Okay, so that's what your users see. Now, let's flip the coin. Let's look behind the scenes at how this plugin helps you, the site admin, manage the whole shebang. Everything is run from this central admin dashboard. Think of it as your compliance command center. Right here, you can see all your key metrics at a glance, like how many people have given consents, or if you have any user requests waiting for you. It's your one-stop shop for everything: logs, audit trails, and all the plugin settings. Now, this is really interesting because it shows you just how straightforward an audit could be. The plugin lets you export all your compliance logs, and as you can see in this example, it captures what the user did and when they did it. But here's the really crucial part. It protects their privacy by hashing sensitive data like an IP address. That just means the information is scrambled, so it's anonymous, but it's still verifiable. This is exactly the kind of record an auditor would want to see. This next feature is technically super important: the script manager. Think about those little bits of code you have for Google Analytics or the Facebook pixel. This tool basically acts like a gatekeeper. It makes sure those scripts only load after a user has explicitly said yes. It's a powerful way to make sure nothing runs without permission. It also has an option for Google reCAPTCHA to help keep your form secure from spam. All right, let's bring it all home. How fast can you actually get this thing up and running on your site? Well, the whole process is designed to be incredibly simple. Installation is just the standard 3-step dance for any WordPress plugin. You upload the folder, you activate it from your plugins menu, and then you just pop over to the new DPDP menu that appears in your dashboard to set everything up. It really is that easy. And once it's installed, you use those simple short codes we talked about earlier. You just make a new page on your site, paste in something like DPDP Grievance form, and the full secure request form just appears. You can do the exact same thing to display your privacy policy or even set up a page where users can check and manage their own consent status. It's just a super simple way to weave these powerful features right into your site. And really, that brings us right back to the core idea here. The entire point of this toolkit is that it takes a very complex legal requirement and just simplifies it. It saves you the time, the money, and the headache of building a custom solution from scratch. And for anyone worried about compatibility, don't be. It's built to work with any WordPress version from 5.0 or higher, which, let's be honest, covers the vast majority of websites out there today. So when you think about it, a tool like this completely reframes the challenge. Complying with the DPDP Act doesn't have to be some scary risk you have to manage. It can actually become an opportunity. It can be a feature that you actively offer your users, a really clear signal that you respect them, their data, and their privacy. Which leaves us with one last question to think about. Right now, is your website's data privacy a liability or is it a feature?